picking up a mage champion, another magic damage dealing champion, or are they gonna invest more onto early game AD champions this time around?
Yeah, and the thing is, KT.RY could now focus onto the bans towards Fate, right? And now as Esports has to think, what should we remove? What should we ban away? And Lucian is something that now as Esports doesn't really want to fight up against. Ezreal is one as well, because the thing is, you want that safety onto Severe, because Severe is going to carry mid game, late game. And I think that is one of the expectations here that now Esports really wants to remove. And KT.RY banning away the Kassadin here is also a good option, considering they have the Gwen on their side. They want that magic resistance. They want that magic tank to be out of the way here. Now Esports, Lucian is still open. Ziggs is still open. You want that safety coming into the bottom lane, and Lucian, to be expected, is removed.
So Shen is available, and KT can actually still pick it up. They can send the Aatrox in the top lane, have the Gwen in the mid lane for Luna. But Akali, man, this is massive damage onto AoE. Multiple members of NAOS Esports can easily be shredded down by these 3 champions if they do lock it in. But it requires so much scaling, so much resources be injected onto this champion.
The thing about Shen, if it's locked in towards KT.RY's side, they will have no damage. So Akali is a better choice here that KT.RY has opted to do so, except if they want to go for that protect the king situation. But for now, we're not going to have that. NAOS Esports could now go in and prioritize the mid lane and the jungle. You also have Lee Sin available for that early game, and really complementary when it comes to that Nautilus pickup that they had into the bottom lane. So a good choice coming into Fate's side. We all know how NAOS Esports have played over the past, and Vladimir is also a safe option for them to go in and out of fights. Mitsuru has played this in the past perfectly well. NAOS Esports in a good position, but KT.RY wants that scaling, and Saya is perfect when it comes to their lack in damage.
So we have it, Infinity. A bit of a balanced composition for NAOS Esports. Great in the early game, decent in the mid game, and a good side in the late game as well, especially with the Vladimir and the Severe. But this is so much late game for KT.RY. If this game extends even for like 15, 18 minutes, this is KT.RY's game.
Yeah, and the thing is, KT.RY coming into the early game, they should have to play it safe, right? Lee Sin and Nautilus coming together is such a dangerous duo to play against, especially if you have the support consistently roaming. Also considering that Severe is one of the sustainable champions that could have the self spell block. So when it comes to that self spell, it doesn't really matter. You can leave Severe into the bottom lane unattended, and he could still live. And in the hands of Mermo, this could definitely work. So Nautilus and Lee Sin consistently roaming around the map, looking into the mid lane, looking into the jungle here, could really be dangerous for the side of KT.RY. So they have to be wary of the situations wherein Lee Sin and Nautilus will rotate.
Especially at level 1, level 2, right? NAOS Esports can just be very aggressive from the start. And we have seen some games as well that Lee Sin, the champion Lee Sin, has been able to impact the matchup in the mid lane, particularly on an Akali matchup against the Vladimir. And that's going to be the goal as well for NAOS Esports.
Yeah, and the thing is, with that spell block coming into Severe, no CCs could touch her. So that will be something that we have to look at later on. But this is already one of the expectations. This is what we have seen over the past few weeks. You know what? The jungler going in for that early rotations, coming into the top side with the Baron laner, also coming for a visit. But thus far, will not go for that engage, will not go for that all in. So basic standard here across the board for each and every single lane.
I like the adaptation though of Luna. This guy has been really improving, developing himself, especially his champion pool lately over the past few weeks. He has been trying out various champions in the mid lane, especially after his transition from ADC to mid laner. And normally we did have a bit of an expectation that he will be the one spamming those ADCs in the mid lane and just have Acrobat secure those APCs like the Ziggs in the Dragon lane. Sometimes they do swap, but this time around he's having more confidence in these types of champions.
Right. And you saw a while ago, right, that Acrobat has to already use the Honey Fruit, has to use up the vision as well coming into the bottom side of the map, because this is the aggression that the Nautilus has inbuilt when it comes to level 1. It's such a very, very strong support that no one could really fight up against it. Maybe if you have the Blitzcrank, maybe you could. But the thing is, at this point in time, Blitzcrank is non-existent when it comes to the meta, right? So Nautilus has no support that can match it up when it comes to these early games, and it gives so much, you know what, free space for Sevier to be able to grow, reach that level 5, reach that point at level 3 as well, wherein you have that self-peel.
Maybe soon from Nova Esports, Viami, because he's
Please
the
no.
guy that
Please
did
no.
try out a couple of BlizzCon last season. I do hope we get to see one day that they pick up other champions that does have hook. We have Blitzcrank, we have Thresh, we have Pike even. So far it's not meta, and it makes so much sense to pick up these supports instead. But though, just trading up the Scuttled Crab in the bottom side river, as we do see Fate as well on top side. Nothing too fancy just yet here in the early game.
Yeah, and the thing, the reason why we don't see such supports exist already, because currently when it comes to the current meta that we have, it's the bottom lane and the mid lane who really just focus in on damage, right? From what we have seen in the past, Lucian, Xayah, Kai'Sa, Sevier, bot lane. Coming into the mid lane is Vladimir, Akali, you have the Jace sometimes come through into the same lane, but it's basically focusing on damage, so they need that massive burst of CC coming into the support role and the jungle.
Great patience coming in from Fate, but Rotel is not going to be affected at all by the bait here of Calm. Though is in here in the vicinity as well as the reset comes through for Fate. So this time Calm has still to be the one being patient and also just reserved. The fight so far at 3 minutes, which is actually more beneficial for KT.RY.
It is. Coming into the early game, this is already to be expected. KT.RY, if they want to go aggressive, they need Zero as a backdrop. And if ever it comes down to this point, the top lane, we don't need to be wary of that. You know, it is the Gwen who could just go into the fights, you know, proc that block, no one could touch it. And Calm, at top side, you also have the hook shot to come in and out of fights. So it's not something that we have to be wary about. Yes, it is something that these champions, these junglers could focus on, but they cannot overstay their welcome, because the thing is, if they overstay, the opposing jungler will have a better time when it comes to farming, will have a more amount of time to be able to stack up on gold and stock up on XP. And these times are crucial in the current meta, because early mid game will pretty much dictate how will you be able to really just keep up the pace and win those fights.
I mean, it might be better to camp in the mid lane or in the bottom lane instead, because there's also someone that can help you set up, right? There's Margo on the Nautilus, there's Zero on the Ornn as well. Both teams can just cancel each other out if ever. Just like the cancel of Zero on the recall there
I love that.
of Margo, preventing any sort of reset. But Margo will be fine because he has time to at least deny some vision that KT.RY has put up in the red side jungle here of Fate. They do commit here, though, still pulling back Margo. They are going to be committing onto this. Follow-up, though, as Margo will be fine.
Yeah, this is really good, right? The cancel coming from Zero onto Margo bought time for them. And that was crucial, because coming into the 4 minutes, typically it is 4 minutes to 4 minutes and 30 seconds wherein these dual laners come into the mid lane. Now, because first of all, it gives them a much more higher priority when it comes to these objectives. They could go into the Rift Herald or they could go Dragon. Pretty much, it's really, really good, and these supports could rotate into the side lanes so much easier. So this is one of the traditions already that we've seen in League of Legends Wild Rift. So that delay, but a little bit more time for Margo to be able to reset.
I mean, NAOS Esports, I think, will be liking securing this RH right now so that they can start accelerating this game, bash the mid lane tier 1 up, and KT.RY will also be happy just trading it out for a Dragon. As the goal here is scaling, the goal is to secure the soul. Though actually going to be committing onto this as well, just trying to contest take down here of Fate.
Yeah, and Fate is here as well, so you really know that NAOS Esports wants to contest this, and as you mentioned, they need this to snowball.
They will try. Zero gonna be here, gonna get cancelled, where's Ender gonna be used. Fate is gonna be the long trouble, gets burst down. KT.RY will have first blood, and the Arch as well will be secured by KT.RY. Golden Forge gonna be used onto Margaret this time, and as Miriam was getting chased down. Rotel though, taking too much damage, will be backing away, but the CC will be there. Tactical sweep as well to secure the kill, but KT.RY has secured 3, and the RH as well.
Yeah, it was Fate who was stuck into the Dragon's Pit. Yes, Calm went in the behind. Calm went into the hills as well, but it was a little bit too late. Fate was already down. If we look at the replay here, it was a good position from KT.RY. They waited patiently for Fate to come through, and then Akali just went straight ahead and contested. When Fate was down, there's no more possibility for that Rift Herald to come to the side of NAOS Esports, except if they kill or hit the eye of the Herald. But at that point in time, it was such a message situation already that KT.RY was able to set up for themselves.
it's such a great target selection by KT.RY. They pulled the Herald as well, closer towards inside the pit. That forced Fate to just check it in blind as well because of the vision established there by KT.RY. And then they bursted him out. It's just those minor details that we like seeing on teams when they execute a team fight that makes them shine better than the other. Now, NAOS Esports, in their pursuit to establish dominance in the early game, it's now the opposite of that. 3,000 gold lead by KT.
Yeah, and that is currently a really good thing for KT.RY. And in addition from what happened a while ago, right? The spell block was already gone, but before then, Kong comes in.
Yeah, Repel is gonna be in trouble, but the damage is just too much from the Gwen. What was that? From what game is this being channeled right now? It seems that Repel is already level 15.
Yeah, in addition to that, it was also the jungler coming into the side of KT.RY. It was Do, who already had the Yuma's Ghost Blade. So when it comes to the damage, it's not just Repel who has it.
And once more, Do is now visiting in the bottom lane. Forcing Mitsura to at least use his flash, but man, it's so clean coming in from KT.RY. We even see Zero this time around in the top lane, helping Luna out. Grimble will be fine, Margo as well.
Yeah, that knockup coming in from Aatrox, coming in from Dahl was perfect. He was able to time the Sanguine pull coming in from the ground up for Mitsura, and that forces out the flash coming in from Mitsura into the mid lane. So a good summoner spell burn. They did not get the kill, but overall that was well worth it.
Fate gonna be visiting in the top lane instead, but will give information for KT as well that he is there. KT will not pursue anymore. This is already a bit of a nightmare, to be honest, for NAOS Esports. 4,000 gold lead on a 4-stack scaling champion lineup. Ooh.
Yeah, they needed this early game. But this part, KT.RY is controlling how this early game is working. Mermo will be the huge dependency for NAOS Esports though coming into the late game. So you see how these team, how KT.RY is heavily shadowing the top side of the map.
You can never discount NAOS Esports. They have been able to come back on crucial fights, on crucial situations, especially on high priority fights as well. They have been able to come back multiple times too with these kinds of lineup that they have secured right now. But in the top lane, KT wants to contest. Call of the Forge Gun is perfect execution gonna be used by Luna to take Mermo down. The kick a little bit later for Fate, but at least there is a trade. Mr. as well gonna be here driving straight into the resonating strike. Hook as well gonna be used as well. Spider Storm is gonna be used. Denied of the exit because of that damage by Mitsura. But Do is gonna be here to at least secure a 2 for 2. And it's wanting more as well. No knock-up just yet except for that charge from Zero. Mitsura still able to deal the damage that he is supposed to do as Esports get through. Still, it's better for KT.RY, especially with Repel right now, with all the resources that he has secured. And he's starting to be more scary.
Yeah, definitely is better for the side of KT.RY. They were able to beat down Sivir. They were able to find Mermo into the top side, and Zero was the one who carried that team fight along. He was able to do the Call of the Forge God coming into the top side of the map. The CC's connected into two. It was Mermo and also Margo coming in from the top side in the Baron lane, and that just stated the death of Mermo from that point forward, and getting that kill onto NAOS Esports side. From what we have mentioned a while ago, that this will be the dependency for NAOS Esports coming into the late game of the game. Wait, late game of the game. Well, yeah, right? Late game of the game. Yeah, it's such a good thing for KT.RY.
We apologize, everybody. We're just getting mind blown by the amount of confidence and also just the top tier execution of KT.RY as well. This is the team, Infinity, that suffered so many game losses during the past week. 3 series losses, and 2 of those as well just came from a dominating team by Weibo Gaming and Trace Esports, and now they're doing this to the top 1 of APAC in the standings. This is a huge improvement by KT.RY, and they will secure Soul Point, at least contest the NAOS Esports stack that they've had in the Dragon a while ago. I actually thought that they secured double objective a while ago just because of their dominance. Man,
this is really good. This is really good coming from NAOS Esports, right? We've mentioned this. This is the redemption arc for KT.RY. And coming into the top side, they got 2 turrets. And that just speaks how Mermo is going to be, you know, something that they really want those golds to come through. And 2 turrets overall is a huge amount of gold injection to their ADC. I
mean, one way to come back, at least slowly, but hopefully surely here for NAOS Esports. 3,000 from the 5,000 a while ago of KT.RY is a good sign. But KT did stack up at least one dragon. Will help them have the better scaling into the late game that they already actually have with the composition that they picked up for this game. As Esports is so far just scrambling over some minor details here in this game.
Yeah, they have to be wary on when to come into the fights and when to just go out. And now as Esports once again focusing on Murmo comes in.
Great stasis coming through as the response call forward shot as well. Pretty knock on Fate's gonna get bursted out. Marco a little bit later onto the fight, but Stura still dealing the damage though. Is still alive, landing the Darkened Blade onto everybody. Here comes Luna as well.
Acrobat.
To the perfect execution. Everyone is running away, trying to disengage, but Luna will not allow anyone to escape. Secures yet another kill, and it's only Calm remaining alive, but only to tell the tale that everyone is wiped away.
They were just pinned down. They were stuck into the bottom lane tier 1 turret. If you see, Fate is just waiting, readily coming into the flank here. Calm engages onto that fight, but Zero, once again, Call of the Fort God, time and time, he did this back into the top side of the map. He did one again into the bot lane, and coming in with that double man knockup from Zero. There was no minion wave as well to really support NAOS Esports coming into those team fights. It was just over for them. It was Murmo who was caught up into the middle of it all, and KT.RY is redeeming themselves here today in Wild Rift Esports.
It's so unfortunate for NAOS Esports as well, because I think they thought that there's no stasis for Do, but they were wrong. After they committed, the outplay was already set, and now Mitsura is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Marco still is there to help him out, but that was so close.
And that was really dangerous as well. Fate is now stuck. Number Safeguard. About the Fort God.
Fate is gonna be fine at the very least. Man, the pressure is on. KT is making NAOS Esports nervous right now. And look at the gold lead as well. It was just 3,000 a while ago. Now it's 8,000.
And the thing that we've missed coming in from the replay and that team fight into the bottom lane is after that team fight happened, after KT.RY won that, they got the Baron Nashor, and now they're utilizing the buff to be able to push down turrets.
They're getting everything right now here in this game, and now Esports cannot control, they cannot mitigate the amount of lead that KT.RY is getting right now. They're trying. So far not being felt here by KT.RY. That's a lot of damage that Fate already has taken. Margot's gonna be fine. He's still able to tank in so much. They have to be very careful. They actually turn here towards Rattel. So many stages again is present here for KT.RY. Now they're countering Calm. He's gonna get taken down instead. Now Esports having so much trouble right now here in this game.
Yeah, the aggression coming from KT.RY. It was NAOS Esports who needed the early game, and they needed to wait for Murmo to come up when it comes to that mid-game, late game. They needed those 2-3 items for him to be able to dish out massive amounts of damage, but KT.RY denied Murmo of that.
They're denying every potential of NAOS Esports to come back here in this game. Denying every engage that NAOS Esports has been trying every single time. We haven't seen a successful engage coming from NAOS Esports just yet, at least in the entire like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and at this point in time, with no more tier 2 turrets coming into the mid lane and top lane and even bottom lane, it's pretty much inhib turrets left for the side of NAOS Esports. It's so much harder now for NAOS Esports to find opportunities, to find jungle camps, to rotate into their very own jungle side, to have that farm for Murmo, to have that extra XP and gold for the rest of the team.
Now the third dragon is going to be available for the taking here of KT.RY. And since we don't see Fate here in this side of this jungle, it's like they're just gonna be giving it away.
Yeah, they need to. They have to. They have no opportunity. Because if they fight that dragon and they lose that 5v5, they will lose the overall game. So they have to wait for Baron. They have to wait for Elder Drake to come up. And Mitsura is the one just stating how these side lanes are to be split push because they needed that extra pressure from the opposite end. So good play coming in from Mitsura. It's a good play overall coming from NAOS. These patience game should be expected.
NAOS Esports needs to also be able to find ways back into this game. 10,000 gold lead is no easy task to overcome. And KT.RY is doing a really good job maintaining it as well. Not being too overzealous, not overextending, not overcommitting. No, they're playing it to their advantage. Split push as well, since they know that no one's gonna be able to win against them in a 1v1 setup. And now they turn on to Mitsura. They have been stalking for quite a while now. Blood Pool is gonna be used. No charge, connecting, no knock up. They might be able to get back here into this fight, but Tortel is gonna be here. 1 versus 4 is not scared at all. And Calm's gonna be the next target this time around. Knockout's not gonna be there. KT.RY, this is a tight position in which NAOS Esports can actually pursue. And NAOS Esports is gonna be taken down. Luna's dealing so much. Acrobat as well, being able to kite around every single member here of NAOS Esports. Multiple members will fall down. That's the 4th kill already by KT. They're just wanting this ace. It will not be allowed, but the base is gonna be opened up.
The Nexus will be open. KT.RY is looking to end it.
Can they do it? Looks like they can. And in a dominating game of a scaling composition, KT.RY will secure the game.
NAOS Esports needed the early game, but KT.RY denied their breathing room for the early game.